Hi, I'm Laura Mize, pediatric speech-language pathologist, and welcome to TeachMeToTalk.com's Therapy Tip of the Week. The last 2 weeks, we've been talking about different ideas for using a material that you will find everywhere you see young children, and that's playing with blocks. Today, we're going to be moving on and talking about these cool wooden color blocks, and I want to talk to you about my favorite ways to use these with my little friends during speech therapy. My favorite set of colored blocks comes with this great top for sorting shapes. Now, that could be your only therapy activity, but I really like to use it at the end. So I like to play and do some things that are more play-based that I'm going to talk to you about. And then we would target the shape sorter piece and clean while we're cleaning up. So we're going to put them in as we're finished with all of our play activity. And I think that's a nice way to do it so that it's not all about getting the shapes in the right place and that's your only focus. If you don't have a cool set that comes with a ready-made top for sorting, let me show you a great idea I found on Pinterest. This is a homemade shape sorter, and you can see it's just from using a good-sized cardboard box. I picked a size that's kind of a medium-sized box so that you could use it just one-on-one with a child, but this would also be really fun with a big box, say a refrigerator box or a box that maybe again held something bigger that mom bought, like you know, a TV or something, and she could certainly adapt this activity. Now, you can cut the shapes yourself and have the child and go ahead and fill the color in so that the child can match not only by shape but by color. Now, some kids won't be ready for that yet. They're just going to be thinking about the shape, and so it won't matter to them if they get every round block in the round hole and they're not really developmentally ready to only put the big blue round blocks here. So you'll get some nice information about where a child is cognitively. Can he sort by two attributes? Can he consider the shape and the color? And again, remember that not all of your children will be able to do that yet, but you'll certainly be addressing the cognitive piece of a child's treatment plan by using an activity like this. This activity is also great for moms to use at home too, because older siblings like it. I've had 3 and 4 and even 7 or 8-year-old siblings like this kind of thing, and you would think, oh, she's way too old for that, but sometimes this kind of thing is simple enough that kids of all ages, or enticing enough that kids of all ages will really, really enjoy it. So mom can continue to use this activity as a diversion. When she needs to take a shower, when she needs to stir the pasta, when she needs to take a phone call, she can set her toddler up with this and let him play independently. So a great way to do that. Now, the obvious goal for so many moms when you have a set of colored blocks like this, or even for some therapists, is to think about teaching colors. For a nonverbal toddler, that's not going to be our first target. We need to get more functional words, and I seem like I talk about that every week on Therapy Tip of the Week videos, but it's so important. So for a toddler that I'm playing with, I'm not even thinking about teaching those color words. I might mention it, but I'm certainly going to go with more functional words first, like block. Or for kids who are a little bit beyond that, I really like to use these kinds of blocks for targeting symbolic play. Now, we talked about that in last week's video, but this week we're going to expand it even more. So we're going to help our little friends who are very, very concrete, who only know how to play with animals with the Fisher-Price barn, begin to realize that they can build their own barn. And again, that's becoming symbolic. So we would use blocks to do that. If we were playing with people, we're not going to call this a barn. We're going to call it a house. And we're going to make some other really fun things too. We might say that we are making a bed for our mommy to sleep in. We might say that we are making a slide for the brother to slide down. Can you see how that would help a child move on with his or her play skills? Yeah. So there's some other cute things that I'm sure that you can come up with. When it's summertime, I like to build swimming pools with blocks, or I might even, if I don't have a triangular piece to use as a slide, I might use some other things, and I might get a little more creative and even try to build a ladder so it gives me more opportunities or steps, you know, whatever you want to call it, so that it, as we're playing, we can talk about some different things and bring in some other vocabulary targets here. But again, our main goal would be helping a child expand its play skills and work on that cognitive piece with becoming more symbolic. Now, another way that I like to use these blocks is for Play-Doh. Whoops. The top fell off there. For Play-Doh, when a family has Play-Doh but they don't have any cookie cutters or any other things for us to use with the Play-Doh. So you can have a lot of fun using wooden blocks in the same kind of way. And again, I don't want you to go for teaching the shapes as you're doing it. You know, it's a really obvious thing to say, look, you made a rectangle. But why don't you think about helping a child again become symbolic? So you could call that rectangle something else. You know, whatever you want to call it. You could say, oh, look, I made a book. I made a book for my little brother to read. Or if I were going to use this triangular piece, we could say we're making the top, or, you know, we're making a hat. Or we could say, if it's a circular piece, that we're making cookies or pizza, or, you know, with a triangle. Anything, again, that would give that shape a more functional purpose during your play. And don't forget that your main goal here is to help your child move to that symbolic level of thinking. All right, those are my ideas for colored blocks. Let me direct your attention to some resources that I mentioned and some ways to give you some additional ideas. I talked about Pinterest, where I got this cute idea for the homemade shape sorter. I hope that you are following teachmetotalk.com on Pinterest. If not, I'd like to invite you to do that. If you need a great guide for establishing really comprehensive treatment plans that target not only language, but the cognitive things that we've talked about today, or the receptive language kinds of goals that you could target with this kind of activity, let me recommend my book, Teach Me to Talk, the Therapy Manual. Lots of speech-language pathologists from all over the country and even all over the world tell me that they use that every single day in their practice with toddlers. So I wanted to mention that. The links for both of those resources are listed below the video in the post. All right, that's all for this time. I'm Laura Mize, pediatric speech-language pathologist, and thanks for watching TeachMeToTalk.com's Therapy Tip of the Week.